Okay, hey class. I was going to make a video just going over the material we covered in class yesterday. This is lesson 19. There are several people absent just because of trips or sickness. So this just kind of gives us a rundown. If you have the Matthew C. Pre-algebra videos, go ahead and watch the lesson 19 one over ratio and proportion. If not, most of what I go over will just be the examples anyway, it covers in the video. But so this lesson was over ratios and proportions. Ratios or ratio is the relationship between two whole numbers. So that's important to remember, is when we're dealing with ratios, we're dealing with whole numbers. And then a proportion is two ratios. So example they give is 2 to 3. And in a class, for every 2 girls, there are 3 boys. So 2 girls to 3 boys. And notice I'm saying 2. This is not read 2/3 because it's not part of anything. We're dealing with whole numbers. So this represents a whole number and this represents a whole number. 2 whole girls, 3 whole boys. Some other ways to write this, if you remember from previous math years, is so you can write it as what looks like a fraction, even though, like I said, it's not really a fraction. You can write it with a 2 and then a colon and then the other number. Or you can even just write it out. So 2, 2, 3. Let's see if you can read that. Yeah, 2 to 3. So there are some different ways, 3 different ways. So this way, and then just writing it out, handwriting. Okay, so let's go over the first example. So with the 2 girls, the 3 boys, wet spot there. So for 2 girls to 3 boys is to, or as to, 8 girls to how many boys? So in this we're dealing with 2 ratios or proportion. So saying in a class, if you had 2 girls to 3 boys, this would be similar as 8 girls with how many boys in a class. And there's 3 ways to figure this out. The first one that I would look at is, what's the relationship between 2 and 8? We know that 2 times 4 gives us 8. So 3 times 4 gives us 12. So that's the first way, and I think commonly that we're used to doing is looking at 1, noticing the pattern there, and then we apply that to get the missing number. The other way he points out is, what is the relationship between 2 to 3? Well, 2 to get to 3 would be 1.5 2 times. So you multiply it by 1.5. So 8, a whole of 8 is 8, and 1/2 of 8 is 4. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So that's multiplying 8 by 1.5. Now, that doesn't seem very obvious to me. I don't even know if it really does that in any example problems. But you can look at the numerator, or the first part to the second part, and see the pattern there. The other way to figure out the missing number would be cross multiply. So let's say we were given this again, and we want to figure out how many boys would be in the class. We can cross multiply and say 8 times 3 is 24, and 2 times what would give you 24? 12. So it'd be 12 boys. So you can look at the relationship between one ratio to another. You can cross multiply, or you can look at the relationship within the ratio itself, which, like I said, I think is a little bit more difficult unless it's just obvious, and it could be multiplied by that easily. So another example, or another problem we can look at would be, for every 2, say, blue cars, there are 5 red cars on the road. Or let's say in a parking lot. So at a parking lot, it was a pretty small one. For every 2 blue cars, there were 5 red cars. So if you come across a parking lot and you see 30 red cars, and the relationship, the ratio is the same here, what would be, how many blue cars would there be? Well, you know there's 5 red cars and there's 30 red cars in this parking lot. So what's the relationship there? 5 times 6 is 30. And then 2 times 6 is 12. So there's 12 blue cars. Another way is to cross multiply. So 2 times 30 is 60. And what times 5 gives us 60? 12. So we know that there are 12 blue cars for every 30 cars in this parking lot. Okay. One more. When the relationship can be seen pretty clearly. So let's say 3 to 5. And then 18 to S. So this is ratio of cloudy days. So cloudy to sunny days. So the ratio of cloudy days to sunny days is 3 to 5. If there are 18 cloudy days, then how many sunny days are there? So S is sunny. So you can cross multiply here. In this example is how they did it. And they said 5 times 18 is 90. And what times 3 gives you 90? And that would be 30. The other thing you can do is when pretty much solving for the unknown with cross multiplying. So 5 times 18 is 90. This amount of sunny days times 3, we know is going to equal 90. So you divide by 3, and then sunny days is 30. So you can even make an equation if you want to see it worked out step by step. Okay, the next one is if the relationship between the numbers does not turn out to be an even number. So I'm going to go to another video, so I'll be able to get these uploaded pretty easily.